Hi, today I'm going to show you how to rename files from a directory. If you have files right in different name and it contains some kind of strings and you want to remove those strings, right, and you need to make different name, but you have many file, hundreds of or thousands of file, but how can you do that? If you use any Python code, you can quickly do that. And today I'll show you that how to rename all files or specific files from a directory, right? So what we need, if you already install Python or you can install Anaconda, it is pretty simple, right? When you have the Anaconda, so you can have access to Jupyter Notebook, or you can even do the same thing in your Linux machine. So today I'm going to show you that all steps from the Jupyter Notebook to Linux machine. Okay, so both way we can even convert within a few lines, right? If you can write few lines, so we'll do that. So let me just quickly share my screen and show you how to do that. Okay, that won't be very complex, it is pretty simple. So here is that. So if you just open your command prompt, CMD, Windows command prompt here, that way, right? And if you write here Jupyter Notebook, right? If you already installed Anaconda, the Python, right, environment, it is integrated software package and programming language. So Jupyter Notebook, it will open a browser and we will have access to our Jupyter Notebook, and then we'll see what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna show you what type of files, right? I have these types of files. By this time I can show you. See, I have these types of files, many. I have like 100 file. If I want to rename, I have to do right click and then I have to rename it, but I don't want that. What I need, so I want to keep only this part. Okay, I want to keep only this part because this part is indicating the station, the observation station. These are the sensor data. This file contains pressure, right, atmospheric pressure and wind direction and wind speed. So what I need to remove those part, right, and I need a file that should be only this part and .csv. So we will write few lines, right, in Jupyter Notebook, and then we'll run the code. It will convert all these files. It will keep only this first part and it will remove this part, right? So let's see if it opens Jupyter Notebook. It's maybe working, or I have another environment, maybe it's working or still it's there. Okay, Jupyter Notebook, or I can even activate. Okay, I can activate a specific environment that will even open that. That is not a problem. If you have any virtual environment, you can have. So I have one like this way. So I have activated. Now I can run that code, Jupyter Notebook. Let's see if it opens. Yeah, it started opening. So what I have, so it will open any browser, your default browser like that, and you can start. Since I have the code in the download directory, right there, I can browse to download, and then from new you can see, you can select Python 3. So if we click Python 3, it will open this interface, right? You know that is the, so what we're gonna do, so renaming. Okay, so this is command, so that's why I'm not gonna write any code. I'm using markdown. Okay, these are the cell. Each cell you can write even any text or any code. So this time I'm just writing a header, right? So rename all files from a directory, okay, or folder. So that's it. If I run this one, if you press Ctrl enter or Shift enter, so it will run and then it will create another cell if you press Shift plus enter button. So that's it. Or you can use this run button here, right? That's easy. So now I have that files in that directory I just mentioned here. If you copy that directory and paste it, input, okay, input dir. So what will be the directory? You have to put it as a string that way, but that should be not backslash, it should be / this way. So you can do that, then you have to use R in front of that. Okay, I'll show you that even. If you use this /, so we have the input directory. We'll loop through each of these files and we will rename all these files as we specify, right? And then let's see. But for doing that, what we need to import operating system. So import OS, and at the same time we can even import, we don't need to import anything, right? So for this thing we need only operating system. If you use import OS and if you press shift enter, it will run if everything is okay. So we have the operating system. Now we have the access because we need to rename that file OS. So now we have to loop through that directory, right, where we have all these files. So how can I do that? We have to change the directory from our current directory to that directory. So what is the command for that one? So we have to use change directory, and it is basically the os.ch change dir, okay? And if you specify that input dir, means that directory, then it will be directed to that USGS sensor data. So then you will change your directory from current directory to that one. That is the command, okay? So now we're going to change our directory there. If we run, see, there is no module, OS has no attribute ch, so it won't be cha, it will be chdir. So that's why it is not working. Now see, it worked, okay? So now our current directory is that. If you just use maybe ls, will it work? See, we're listing the directory and we have all these files. It is giving us everything, okay? If you click here, you'll see we have access to every files, but we need to loop through each of these files and we'll rename this. We'll keep only this part and that part. So for doing that, we need to split, right? We need to split these files. At first, we'll split this part and that file extension. So that is the first step. We'll split this extension and then we'll split the first name as pieces because we have that, right, underscore and underscore. So using that split command, we'll split this part, that part, and that part, and then we'll even attach the first part with the extension, right? So if you have, so in this directory I have only CSV files. So if you have many types of files, okay, if you have many different types of files, but you want to rename only those files that has .csv extension. So what do you have to do? You have to use a specific command for doing that, so that it will loop through only those .csv files or any other types of files if you have combined directory or everything. So first we are gonna, I'm not gonna show you this again, I'm just cleaning this one. So what I have to do, I have to loop through that. I'll use for loop, okay? So for doing that, I'm using that file name, okay? For file name in what? That is the command for file name in that directory, okay? os dot input dir or list dir, okay? List dir. At first we are just listing the directory because we already changed our directory to that directory. Or you can use, if you don't want to use that command, you can use even this one, okay? You can use this command as well, it will be the same. And if you want to print the file name, okay, it will print all these file names, print file name, okay, it will print all those file names including everything. See, we have it looped through each of these files and it just printed. But if we have different files other than CSV, so it will print even all those files. So next command, I'm just generalizing it, if, I'm looping through each of these files, and I'm passing another condition. If file name, okay, file name ends with, right, file name ends with what? That CSV dot CSV. I'm giving the extension. If the file name ends with CSV, then print those files. Okay, I'm testing, it's working. So now see, I'm even pasting other files. Let me quickly copy and paste some other files, like these files. Okay, I have like this one. Okay, that is the file. Copying, I'm just showing, I'm pasting, so it should be there. It is there. If I don't use that, right, if I exclude that part and if I print, then I will have that file as well. See, we have this one. It is just printing everything. But if I use that command, file name ends with CSV, it won't print that file, notepad file. See, it's not there. It is only printing the CSV file. So that is the command you can use. So that's why I always use that one. Now we have access to each of these files. Okay, so now what we have to do? We have to split the files. We have to split these files using that dot extension. So what is the command for that one? So let me use that one. So we have two, right? Then we'll have two part, the first part and the other one. So first part, I'm giving the variable name as file underscore name, and then extension, file extension. Okay, file underscore ext. Then I'll use that file name, because os dot path, that is the command, and then you have to split text. Okay, you have to split text, and then what is the text? That file name. You have to use the file name, because file name is a string. That's why we're splitting. It is considering as a string text, right? So we are just splitting the text. If you use split text, then it will split based on its extension. Now what you will have? You will have the file name, you'll see, and then I'm printing, it will print this one as well, first part of the file, and it will print even the extension separately. If I just use this, see, can you see that? It is printing the file and it split it. I have the first part of the file and I have the extension separately. It is separate. Or even if you mess up with the space, then yeah, see, it's different. That means we have the splitted file name. So now what we have to do? We have to split this part again into three pieces, first, second, and third, using that underscore. If you have underscore or any hyphen, anything, you can use that. So that is the common command I'm gonna use here. So since I have three different parts, I'm giving first one is station ID, because this is basically the station ID. Okay, station ID, and the second name is storm tide or type, whatever name, storm, you can name storm, and then unfiltered, we can use undefined anything, unfilter. Okay, unfilter, but these are not important. You can give any name or even that one as well. So we are going to split that part file. Okay, so file name will split that dot split by what? We are going to splitting this using that string underscore, right? If I split, then I will have station ID. I'm going to show you station ID and storm separately, and then that identifier. Okay, and I also have the extension as well. See, when you have some mistake, it will show you that. I think you need to use that command. Still we have problem with this one, because we use file extension, doesn't have three part. That's why we have to use file name. I mistakenly copied that one. Okay, so that's that. We have this file, we are just splitting, and we are getting the first part of the file before that extension, and we are just even splitting using that common underscore string. Okay, so I need only that, so I'm printing only that part. I don't need anything. Okay, so I need only this file part. So now I have to attach this name station ID with that extension, right? So how can I do that? That is the file name. So now it will be new name. I'm giving as new name. New name will be what? At first we have to create that name. New name will be like that. So if you use formatted string, that is the command for formatted string. If you use this curly bracket, and then if you finish that way, because we'll have two part, and then you have to write format, right? And then inside that format, what will be the first part and the second part? The first part will be station ID, and that is the station ID, and the second part will be extension, right? We have the extension as file underscore extension. Then you'll have the new name. If we print new name, print that new name, so what will happen? It will print the new name. Okay, so I'm printing even the file name. This time I'm printing the file name and the new name. I'm not gonna print this one, so it will be easy to see. So it will print the whole name of the file, then it will give us the new name. But still, we only prepared the name. See, when we have the input files from our directory, this one, and we prepare this new names. Okay, all these names are same, only because of this few lines. Now we have prepared the names corresponding to the previous one, but still the files are there in the directory. See, let me check. We didn't have any updated name. Still these files are there because we didn't use the rename command. So now I'm gonna rename all of this. Okay, and this file name will be replaced by this name. So what is the command for that one? So that's why we need os dot rename, and then we have to pass what are the input file. Input file name is this, and the output file name is that. So the input file name will be file name, and the output file name will be new name, right? That will be this part. So we are giving, okay, this is my file, input file name, and change it to this one. Okay, so now if you just run, everything will be changed. Let me just open that here as well, if you can follow that one as well. Within fraction of second, it will be renamed. Okay, if I run, it's done. Let me show you that. See, it's done. Everything changed to that, but it didn't do anything because I excluded that part. Okay, that notepad file, I just used only the CSV files. It is pretty useful, right? Definitely, because sometimes, most of the time, you'll have a file name that if you have email name or everything, if you wanna concatenate different part of a name or file name, and if you want to simplify the file name, you can use. At first, you have to split the part of the file name, and then you can even concatenate the extension and everything. And from this one, you can even use .txt, whatever the extension is. Even you can use the extension. Other than using that extension, you can even use that command. .csv, it will be .csv, or now .txt. Okay, it will be .txt. But see, we already converted the file names, right? So there are not the previous files, so it won't run this time. But what you can do, you can even loop through all of these files, and if you know that, right? I don't have several part of the file. I have only this file now in this directory. So I'm splitting this using that command, and I'm taking that file name because now I have the file name as this one from that directory. Right? Let me show you that, because I don't have anymore the previous name. And if I use that file name, and I'm not gonna convert now, I'm gonna print you the file name, the input file name. Okay, input file name and the new name. What will be that? See, we have input file this, and if you use .txt, it will be .txt. And if you use that command, if I activate that command, so now in the directory we can see all files are CSV. Now all files will be .txt. If I run this command, because our new name is .txt, keeping the same name. This is how I can even convert the file type using that os.rename command. So now all files are even displaying here, and in the directory these are all .txt. Can you see that? Now all files are txt file, right? Now if you wanna even convert it to back to that file, so now if I use that command, it won't run because in the directory nothing is there, right? So I can even give else command, else, and I can print if there is no CSV file, so it will print there is no .csv files, right? No CSV file in the directory. So what will happen? If I run it, it will display this image. Okay. Yeah, it is. See, each time it is looping through this one, and it is giving us this message. It is looping through this file and it's looking for it. There is no CSV file, right? So if I use a different command, txt, now I'm changing from txt to CSV. So now it will even print the file name as txt and it will change it to .csv, right? So let me run it, and it won't even show this message. So this is how we can play with different file names. See, I have the input file txt and the new file CSV, and in the directory we can see we have all files at .csv. So that is pretty simple, right? So these are the data I had previously, and it is as original data. So I had a very bad name, right? It has different part, so I just excluded everything, and out of this name I'm just showing the useful part of the file name, and I'm reducing the name. Okay, I'm renaming. So once you have this command ready, and if you want to use the same command and same function in Linux machine, you can even do that. Okay, let me just quickly show you that. For example, I have access to this Linux machine. Okay, I have the same file. I'm gonna show you that one. Now it is USGS sensor data here. USGS sensor data. Okay, USGS sensors. Okay, I have the same name. So if I use, so what I have to do, I have to make a copy, and then otherwise I don't want to rename this file because that is the original file I have. So I can copy, because using that command, and it is a directory, I'm copying all files. I'm using that recursive mode R, and it is just one directory up. That's why I'm using ... and hash and USGS and then sensor. Okay, I have that USGS sensor. So I'm saving this file as test sensors. Okay, test, or yeah, so that file should be as close to that file. I'm giving the same name, USGS underscore sensors underscore test. Okay, if I use this command, then this directory will be copied to this directory, and we'll rename that one. It is copying. Since the files are big, it's already there, so that I can find the file, so that it will be close to that one, USGS sensors. If I refresh that, USGS sensors, oh, it is not there. It is in my current directory because I didn't use that command. It is there. See, it is there. Test. It is there. I didn't use that double because I'm in that directory. So I have these files. It is not a problem. Even I can move. Okay, I can move this file MB, and what is the name? US. Okay, this file, and then sensors. Okay, USGS sensors and test. I have this. I'm gonna move this file to the one directory up. It will be moved. See, the files are not there. The folder just moved to the previous directory at once. It is pretty simple if you use the Linux machine. USGS right sensor, and it will be USGS sensors and test. This one, see, I have this. So if I wanna use that name, I'm copying the name, and I have the script, the same script. I'm gonna show you. Rename. I have many scripts, separate script for separate job. So I'm gonna rename that. Observe water level and pressure. That one. I'm opening. See, it is this one. I have written the same. So I'm giving the name. Okay. The input directory is that USGS sensor test. And I'm just looping through that directory, changing the directory using that same command, same CSV, and splitting the same way, and okay, forming the same file name, and just renaming. If I just save that, I'm saving that. Okay, and if I use, since it is Python script, I have to use Python command. Okay, and rename. I'm just calling the name of the file. Okay, observe WL, and is there. Let me show you that so that you can see what it is doing actually. USGS test. Okay, so see, when I'll run this command, so it will be changed to the expected file name. Okay, I'm running, it's changing. See, it's done. If I refresh, it's done. Everything is same inside that file, and the file name just got changed to our expected or our defined file name. So this is how you can convert the name from one file type to any file type. It's pretty simple, and this is very useful because sometimes in the next time I'll show you, because why I'm doing that, because I have this observed and I have the simulated data, but the simulated file name will be like this .csv. But if I have the observed data in a different file name, right, that contains extra part, and I won't be able to even loop through two different directories, and I won't be able to plot. So when I'll plot and I'll compare the simulation and the observation data, so I need to have the same name so that I can check, okay, if this name is same with that name, because I'll plot all these 100 files using another code from two different directories. So in one directory I have this observation, in another directory I'll have simulation data. So I'll loop through each of these directories in the next tutorial, or I'll show how to loop through two different directories and read these CSV files and how to plot. I'll show that subsequently. So this one will loop through each of the directory, and it will check if the file name from this directory is same as the file name from that directory. If these are same, then it will read and then it will plot, right? And then you will see the comparison plot. So that's why we need to have the renamed code, and we'll rename the file to compare our simulation and observation data, or any other purpose you need to know, right? So this is how you can even do it. It is pretty simple. It is not that hard. It is a few line code. If you know, it is pretty even useful. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have any query or any suggestion, you can just make comment in the comment box. I'll appreciate that, and I'll appreciate your support as well. Thank you very much.